Hola, ¿qué tal, amigos? Bienvenidos. Welcome to Agent Spotlight, the show that brings you the best real estate agent, and more than just the best real estate agents, the agents, the people that are making it happen in the Arizona industry when it's regarding to real estate. So definitely today is a great, awesome show that we have in store for you guys. So yeah, with not more to do, my name is Carlos Estrada and we have Abel.
Hi everyone, my name is Abel Badillo, here with Drake's Title. We have two really cool guests, como dice Carlos. Aquí en este show les traemos los mejores agentes de bienes y raíces y no solamente eso, también les traemos los mejores prestamistas en el estado, porque es importante tener buena representación en ese mercado, simplemente porque está cambiando y hay muchos agents y muchos lenders que no tienen la experiencia que se necesita para representarlos en este mercado. So, por eso nosotros nos damos la tarea de traer a los mejores agentes y prestamistas en el estado de Arizona. So today we have two very special guests. We have Brayam Arguelles with the Mortgage Fellas, and we have Gabriella Palma with My Home Group. How are you guys doing today?
We're good, man. We're doing good.
Great.
Blessed to be here. Happy, excited.
We're excited to have you guys. We have a lot of questions for you, and obviously we want to get to know you guys and talk about the market a little bit.
Definitely. Something that we like to do, and for people that follow us and have been watching the show, we like to get to know our guests and what they do, what it is that they do, how they are in more than a professional atmosphere, how they are really in a more personal, intimate way that they behave themselves. So Brayam, I'll start with you, or I should start with Gabriella. Just ladies first. Gabriella, why real estate? And why, what did you do before and how did you enter into this space?
Okay. So, I grew up in the industry. I grew up with a single mom, 3 girls. She became a loan officer, right? So she became a loan officer prior to the crash of 08, right? So we saw it come from, struggling, not making any money, to all of a sudden, in 2-3 years, my mom was a millionaire, saw a lot of ups and downs. When the market 08 happened, she lost 30 homes, went homeless. So we kind of saw everything, from the ups and downs. I grew up sleeping in my mom's, on her feet,
Oh, wow.
She was attending clients, taking applications, and I would pop up, every day.
So real estate is just something that kind of just happened for you, and it's just something natural that comes to you then.
Yeah, definitely. Since I was younger, I was like, I can't wait till I start, attending clients. So my mom would have me at 8-9 years old giving cards at the swap meet. So
it's amazing because it sounds like you have you saw the crash, and it, and obviously on the market that we're in right now, we'll talk a little bit later about that, but definitely you're gonna have amazing input as into where this market is heading and how do we move from here. But Brayam, the same question, my man. Why real estate and what brought you into this space?
Yeah, so I was working in banking at the time, right? So I was a banker at US Bank, and I just stumbled upon it, right? I was already doing refinances and home equity lines of credit, and then one day I just asked one of the loan officers there, I'm like, dude, how much are you gonna make off of the referral that I just sent you? I sent him like an attorney at the time, and he told me, and it just opened my mind of the possibilities. I didn't know I wanted to do real estate. I just always had a passion to help out people, so that's why I enjoyed doing the refinances and the home equity lines of credit at the time. And majority of my clients were all Hispanic at the bank, because that's what the referrals that will come in, they'll just send them to me like, oh, but I'm a Spanish speaker, and they'll feel comfortable with me. So at that time, I kind of discovered that there was like a void in the Latino community when it came to financing needs, because they didn't trust the banks, right? Gabriella mentioned, 08 happened, and one of the biggest reasons that the market did crash was due to unethical lending, right? Obviously there was appraisals and other things like that, but the community was just barely taken advantage by their own people, and so they questioned everything that the bank did. So at that time, I kind of knew that I wanted to just step into that role and fill in that void. So I started just practicing for my license, and I feel like it's God put me in the right situation, right? So I ended up working with one of the top producers at AmeriFirst under his wing, and that's how I learned the business, and been doing it for over 6 years now.
Nice.
Dude, that's awesome, and I like that you say that, because when you come from a place of service, and you're right, like the Latino community in the real estate industry is very underserved, and I think that's why we like to show everyone who the good lenders and who the good realtors are. So, you know, I think there's a lot of people that were screwed. I know when my parents bought their first house in 2006, I believe it was, right before the crash, like their real estate agent did not speak any Spanish. Wow. It was this older white lady, super nice, did a great job, but like here I am like at 10, 12 years old, like translating a full real estate transaction for my parents. So.
And then like there was Latinos in the industry taking advantage of it.
Yeah, and there weren't a lot. I mean, yeah, there were, I don't think at that time there were a whole lot of Latino real estate agents, but yeah, it's really cool that, you know, you're able to help your community in their language, because you are making a huge commitment, and it's nice to have someone that can explain the paperwork to
and you know what,
Spanish.
you mentioned something, Brayam, that you know that really resonates, and especially, you know, obviously having the podcast and talking to a lot of top producers, a lot of people that really comes from the heart. You know, you said that, hey, you know what, I saw that there was a void, right? There was something that was not, you know, going right within, I'm assuming, the way you were thinking. They were taking advantage of the community, or you know, there wasn't enough representation. And a lot of top producers talk about that. They talk about, hey, you know what, I gotta help the community. That's the reason why I'm in this industry, because I see the necessity that we need, right? And a lot of the times we don't get that that education, you know, because a lot of times you're just like, hey, you know what, sign right here, move it along, you know, next, you know, and you mentioned that, and that really, that's like, for the top producers, it's been like something constant that keeps coming up.
Yeah, because I mean, if you think about it, at the end of the day, like if you keep those morals and the core values on why you got into the business, you're always gonna be flourishing, right? Like you're just gonna live in abundance at that point, because you're doing right by people. So one of the exactly. So one of the things that like I noticed and I knew the void was missing there. Like I remember helping out a client with a refinance at the time at the bank, right? And the client, all they spoke with was Spanish, right? And I could only help them out to do 20-year transactions. Anything above 25 years had to go to the actual loan officer of the branch. Okay. So I had to refer it out to the guy, and he was, you know, English speaking, didn't look like them. So the client was already kind of like on the fence, right? And so they'll come to me with a packet like, Brayam, can you explain this to me? So I'm there reviewing, you know, documents, going over regulations, what this means, what the loan estimate means, exactly how much you're gonna save, what the closing cost was, right? And I had to just reassure them throughout the process. And that's where I kind of figured out like there is a void missing, because a lot of the Hispanic lenders at the time when 08 happened, like the whole the market left, right? Because they couldn't pass. Once you had to pass a test,
we ain't doing that. Well, back then anybody could be a loan officer. Like I know, and I mean, being in this industry, like you meet a lot of people, and I've met a lot of people that I'm like, wow, like you didn't have to take a test, which is why you were a loan officer, but like now you're not, because
can't pass it now. Or they do background checks now to see if you're like ethical, right, and all of this.
No, I know someone that was a felon. I was like, damn.
Like Gabby's mom used to run, I think, like a branch of like 30 plus people, loan officers.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I remember going to funerals. People were killing themselves. You know, they were so used to making so much money. A lot of people we knew went to jail. You know, got in trouble.
I know a few lenders that went to jail.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, she always said. She had 3 daughters, so she was like, I mean, the worst I ever did was charge someone $30 to run their credit, you know, after the market crash. And she would tell people, I need to eat.
People are listening to us today, and they're like, yeah, that's the guy. Those are the people that, you know what I mean?
That's the team I want to work with.
No, but yeah, even then she always said, you know, I knew I could never cross the line because what was going to happen to my daughters.
Definitely. Guys, I have a question for you guys. What is the greatest lesson that you guys have learned, whether it's personal or in the industry, you know what I mean, that, you know, I guess really resonates with the way you behave yourself? Greatest lesson.
Greatest lesson that I've learned in the industry, right? In the industry. I would say coming from a background where my mom wasn't wealthy, right? Me being first generation to the income that we met, that we're seeing, I think the biggest lessons was like save, right? Never spend a Never spend a check that you haven't closed yet, right? So like one of the biggest lessons to me is literally that. Don't spend your money because you got a deal under contract.
Right.
You got to close it, right?
Yeah.
So don't bank. Don't bank on that as like, oh man, now I can go and buy, a shirt. I could do shopping or whatever. I could take a vacation, because you really don't know what's gonna happen with that transaction. Exactly, because that deal, the client can take out a car, or they miss a payment, credit went bad, like appraisal came in short. There's a lot of variables that you really can't control. So that's why I feel like I was blessed to be when I got hired on with the loan officer that I was. The people around me weren't braggy, right? They were making a lot of money, but they're really humble, and they were all about saving. And so the biggest lesson was like save in this industry, because it's gonna have its ups and downs. And as you know, right now the market is shifting, and a lot of people, we get messages all the time, Gabriella and I, in regards to like, hey man, like can you give me some advice? Like I'm struggling right now. I haven't seen a deal like in 2 months. And the reality is that this market that we're in, this is normal. Back in 2016, this is what it was, right? 2017, 18, it's a stable market. Like, and that's the biggest advice that I tell the new agents, right? Because if you came in the industry in 2020 or 2021, you were just getting deals left and right.
Money was falling out of the sky.
It was just like raining deals, right? And now you're like panicking because you're in a stable market, and it's normal, right? The average agent closes 6 deals a year. The average lender closes 25 transactions a year, right? So do not feel stressed because the market's shifting. Now you just have to use this time to, I guess, systemize your process a little bit more. But yeah, the biggest lesson is just save. Save, because you never know when the downs are, and you'll be prepared for when it does come.
No, that's really good. And like you said, like we're not in a down. We're in a healthy market. In order for our Maricopa County to have a healthy market, we need about 18,000, anywhere between 15 and 18,000 active listings. Right now, I think we're right above the 18,000 mark. So we're in a healthy market. There's a lot more negotiation going on, which is really great for buyers and sellers, because now, like 6 months ago, buyers were kind of getting screwed. But now it's like a really, really healthy time for them to purchase, because if they were priced out, now they're getting help with closing costs, now that there's no appraisal waivers. So, it's the right time to buy is when you have the opportunity.
Yeah, right now it's like an opportunity being presented. Like Gabriella's lights lit up all the time when she'd like to ask her about the market, because she's excited for the way that the market has changed, because
prices have, they've, on average, I think they've adjusted they've went down, 7%, I think. So on the bright side, they're not inflated anymore. Every area is going to be different. But it's for the best, like the average person's, $75,000 household income, right? So imagine like to buy a $400,000 or $500,000 starter home. I think a lot of like for me, I never sold my clients that their home will only get equity, and for me, it's just you're buying housing stability. If you're okay with your payment, if you really cannot do that payment, then you shouldn't be purchasing, right?
Exactly.
And I think a lot of agents or even lenders, who are struggling right now,
they're trying to sell them something.
They were, selling best case scenarios to the clients, and to me, it's more, why are you buying a home? Are you buying it to make quick money, then flip a house. Don't buy a primary in that case.
Well, Gabriella, and I think it just comes with experience. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, I think so.
She has, because you made a reference. Hey, you know what? There's a lot of newer agents that are hitting the market. There's gonna be very, very successful new agents. But unfortunately, they're only accustomed to, hey, you know what? We're gonna offer more on this house. Hey, we're gonna, not ask for any help. They're not used to the negotiation. That's really when negotiation skills come to play.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely right now, as a buyer, right? As a seller, you can still capitalize on your equity. But as a buyer, this is your time to be as aggressive as possible, right?
I like something Brayam posted the other day where he said, what was it? Marry the house, date the rate. Yeah, I think that's super powerful, because like you said, now's the time to find your dream house.
Yeah, and the main thing though, back to that, even that post, right? We're not trying to, like, at least for me, right? I don't try to sell the clients on like, hey, you're gonna be able to reduce this payment down.
Right.
I was just talking to a few of my colleagues in the industry, right, the other day about rates, where the rates are going to go. Fannie and Freddie announced that, you know, rates will go down next year potentially, but that's a hypothetical at the end of the day, right? We don't know what can happen, right? What if Fannie and Freddie decide, hey, you know what, we were thinking that it may drop in April, but now we're thinking about maybe October next year. So everybody who's banking on these rates to go down aren't going to be able to refinance, or if you're selling your client on that, they're going to feel even more pressure, like more stress about making those payments. So we always try to focus on like, hey, what's your budget? And like Gabriella said, can you afford it? And do you, because if you're paying $800 in rent, let's be realistic, $1,800.
Where are you renting? Because...
Yeah, but $1,800 may not be the ideal for you right now. You're not ready for it, because you're paying $800, $900 in rent right now. And you know, we get clients like that sometimes, that I always tell them, like, you're in a very blessed housing situation, because that's not normal.
So as long as it's a long term.
As long as you got a contract, you signed it for a year or two, like, you know, but you are gonna have to worry that what if your landlord wakes up one day and he's like, dude, I haven't been capitalizing on this rental market, right? So that's the downside of, I guess you can say, in renting, because you don't know the hypothetical, right? But that's what we're always like, the budgeting.
Yeah,
Let's budget, make sure that we can.
Yeah, and that's great that you asked, because sometimes clients get excited and they're like, oh, I pre-qualify for this much, but they never stop to ask, like, what is my payment gonna look like? And then they end up buying this house that they can't afford. Yeah. And then 7 months down the line, they're like, oh, shit. You know?
No, yeah, we get clients all the time that want to get pre-approved, right? And they're like, what's my max? I'm like, well, let's not worry about.
What can you afford?
Like, let's talk about what's your payment that you're shooting for. $1,500. Okay, $1,500. We're gonna reduce this down to, you know, $300, $280 purchase price power now, right? And they go, wait, but I want the $500,000 home. Well, okay, let's plug it in. Here's the payment, right? Now, can you do that? No, it's too much. Okay, so let's not do that. Like, how about we get you into, you're a first-time home buyer. So let's get you into the position of owning a house. This house becomes an asset that you can then later on sell or rent out, and then once you can afford that house, the next one, then move it.
Then we'll help
you know, then we can do the new house.
That's important, because I feel like being in the industry, we've come across a lot of lenders and a lot of real estate agents that aren't coming from a place of service, and because it does make a difference in their pay, they will sell someone a $500,000 house versus a $300,000 house, knowing that they can't afford it. It's like those greasy sales.
You're not really educating the client on, hey, what are your goals, right? There's some people who, they're okay with their one house, right? They want their dream home. That's where they're going to be for 30 years. Maybe they have their money in other investments, and they don't, you know. But then if, you know, I start off. I mean, we have a client, a friend of mine who, you know, they came to us and said, hey, we want to buy a land and we want to build our dream home, you know. And I'm like, okay, you know, what's your position right now? You know, how much capital do you have? Is it really the smartest idea? You know, why don't you first start with a starter home? You know, that way when you go build your house, now you have an investment vehicle that you got to take advantage of a low down payment going into it, instead of now spending, you know, $100,000 on getting into your dream home. And now if you want to buy an investment property, 20% down. You know, it's not justifiable to the bank anymore. Right. You know, I mean, that's something that people don't, you know, think about, like, what's the long-term goal? You know, is this like, and even then, I mean, I think a lot of people in our industry, they don't really sit down and you know, see why. For example, if I get somebody who calls me and says, hey, like, I want to sell my house, right? I'm okay, you know, why do you want to sell your house? You know, like, oh, you know, I want to take out $40,000 equity, or, you know. And I think there's a lot of people in the industry who just think about the commission check, right? And they don't say, hey, like, you know, you want to upgrade, you know. Now you're like, and now you're like, no, keep your house, you know, like, look how much you can make as a rent, you know, like, use it as an investment or take out a line of credit, you know. Now you can take out the money you wanted, and you got to keep your investment, and now you're building wealth for your family, you know. But especially these last 2 years, I think a lot of, especially people in the Hispanic industry, you know, they think, you know, I'm never gonna come across this kind of money anymore. You know, it's very short-term mentality. But you know what's gonna happen when you're 60 years old and you no longer can work that hard labor job, and now.
Yeah.
I like how you guys are very passionate, right? And you guys jump right into, hey, you know what? This is how we help. This is a community issue. This is how all the clients, what they can expect when they work with the team that's experienced, right? Or that has the right interest in mind. But hey, we're gonna go on a quick commercial when we come back. Just really quick, before we go on the commercial, how do we get hold of you guys?
Best way to get a hold of me, I always say phone number, 602-545-9082, or you can also follow me on Instagram, Arguelles_home loans. That's another good way to get in touch with me as well. How about you, Gabriella?
Me as well, 602-810-8484. Same thing, Gabriella Reyes Palma on Facebook, or Gabyrpalma on Instagram. I think we both use our personal accounts, you know?
Or look for the banner, definitely is going to be down there, and give them a call by that. Let's go on a quick break, we'll be right back.
Hola a todos, mi nombre es María Villescas, trabajo aquí en la compañía de título Drake's Title Agency. He estado en la industria desde el 2005, ya van varios años, y quisiera que todos, por favor, piensen en mí cuando están haciendo sus transacciones. Me daría mucho gusto ayudar a nuestra gente con la casa de sus sueños y ayudarles a invertir su dinero que con tanto esfuerzo se han ganado. Entonces, por favor, piensen en mí en su siguiente transacción. Estoy aquí para ayudarles. Gracias también a Agent Spotlight por la oportunidad de poder presentarme con ustedes. Gracias.
Hey everybody, we're back with Agent Spotlight. Like I mentioned earlier today, we have Brayam Arguelles and Gabriella Palma. Guys, we're gonna play a quick game of Truth or Dare before we get into some more of the professional real estate questions. So we'll let Gabby go first. Gabby, Truth or Dare?
She's like, I wasn't ready for this.
I'll do truth. I don't know.
What is the last lie you told and why?
The last lie I
Brayam.
told.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, specifically me.
She's gonna be like, I bought a purse.
You do it while staring at him in the eye.
I'm
Oh,
just
the
kidding.
last lie I told him.
No,
Just in general.
Okay. Man, that's a hard one. Oh.
Damn, we gonna turn this into Mari.
The last hard one. Oh, he told me, hey, I'm growing my beard out. If it looks bad, tell me the truth. I said, I will.
Oh, and you told them it looked good, huh?
So now you know. Don't grow your beard out.
Bro, I'm trying. You gotta go through the patchy phase first, you know?
See, I have that same problem, and I hate how itchy it gets, but because it's patchy, but I'm like, I feel like if I really, really tried.
Abel, yours is already out, dude. It's like, you can see it.
But I think I feel self-conscious because my dad has like a full beard, and mine's nowhere near. That's why I feel like mine is patchy. So we have to try.
You know what? I hear that because I obviously after 30. I don't think you guys are after 30.
That's what my uncle told me. Yeah, I'm not after 30. Yeah. Close.
So you guys gotta wait. Wait.
3 more years.
Yeah. So I guess I'll be a little bit fun. I'll say dare. I'm curious what would happen.
Cool. I dare you to unfollow 3 people on Instagram and tell us who they are.
Oh my goodness.
God.
You know what? Make it 2, because then you're gonna be like
2.
Yeah.
I gotta unfollow 2 people. Oh man. Let's see. I think I can make this pretty easy.
Abel, you're out. Yeah. Carlos, you're
No one's
out.
ever done that.
Let's see here. No, I think it could be pretty easy.
That's a power move right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with let's see, my latest people that I've followed. Let's see here.
That's a fake account, dude.
Oh yeah, see, there we go. So I'll unfollow that one. Does that count?
Of course.
Sure.
Well, you didn't. Who is it?
It was a fake account.
So it doesn't count.
Okay, all right, then it doesn't count. So let me see. I'm just going off my recent follows here that I
I know because I also accidentally followed it.
What was it?
It was a fake account that someone made with Teddy's pictures.
Oh.
yeah.
That was a bummer.
Let's see. Man, this is hard. This is hard because it's like I try to follow majority of the people that like follow me. So I don't want to
find any title person is fine. We'll let you do one if you
Right.
want. I'm just kidding.
Oh no.
Title person.
That's terrible. Why would you tell me to do such a thing like that?
This
You said dare. You said specifically, I want to make this fun and I want to see what you have in store.
I really don't know who to unfollow. Look, I'll unfollow Louis Vuitton.
That's gonna save you some money.
It's gonna save me some money there. I'm gonna unfollow Bacanora.
There it is.
I love that place.
We've been wanting to go. Don't unfollow them.
She's like, follow them back.
I'm following them because I can't land a
So
reservation.
The hack there is you have to show up and put your name down on the list, and then you have to go to like the bars that are like next door and just hang out until they call you. That's the only way I've ever gotten
So you've
in.
shown up the same day that you wanted.
Yeah. You show up the same
So
day.
that was two, right?
That's
Yeah,
two.
That was
That's
two.
two.
All right. Well, let's move it along.
She's like the anxiety.
So as a girl, I hate.
I'm gonna call back and I'm gonna be like, hey, this guy unfollowed y'all on Instagram. Don't take his reservation.
Well, I'll go with Gabriella and ask her, hey, let's jump right into the professional stuff. Gabriella, how do you prepare yourself to be the best real estate agent that you can be on a daily basis?
I think it starts with positivity.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's definitely something I've always struggled with. Where I start thinking worst case scenario of everything. But it's definitely something that will rub off on a buyer, especially if you work with a lot of first time buyers. If you remain positive and for example, even in this market, right? Even people purchasing right now, a way to educate them while coming off positive as well, right? For example, a buyer, I'll be like, hey, this is a budget you want to stick on, this is our time to be aggressive. Most of my buyers right now, we're asking for concessions, we're sending low ball offers, as strong as we can.
Low ball or lower offers? Low ball. There's agents that follow us. They're going to be like, she's going to low ball me.
Our friend right now, Estrada, right? One of our mutual friends. She bought a home at 357 when it was listed for 385, right?
Oh,
and
that's
getting
not low
closing
ball.
costs. It appraised at 385.
385
She has
and 357,
equity.
dude. That's a low ball offer.
No, yeah.
I don't think in this market, I
With
think
closing
we're
costs.
negotiating. Like it's negotiation because not every agent can sell that reduction on top of closing costs. Like you have to have a really good team to make that happen.
Oh no, and there's gonna be, every seller's in a different
But
position,
dude, that's
right?
awesome because she's walking into it with like $28,000 of equity.
No, and Ricardo Cruz with his team, helped her do her loan. And she's coming with zero out of pocket.
I'm sure she's not gonna have any
Not this
MI
guy?
either.
No, not this
no.
guy.
He's one of the fellas now.
Yeah,
He's
well,
one of the fellas.
He's one of the fellas. Also does a great job.
Okay.
Brayam, I have a question for you. ¿Cobras por las consultas to see if someone qualifies? Like, do you charge for that? Is that something that, when they come to see you?
Yeah.
$1,000.
It's built in the price.
What's the price to do business with you?
So no, the consultations are free. Okay. So we don't charge for anything at all. We're at the end of the day we're servants, right? To the community. That's the way. Like when people ask me how do you get paid? I get paid through my bank, right? I get paid based on performance. If I can perform and deliver loans, my bank's gonna go ahead and pay me back on that. So no, for consultas gratis.
Yeah, and we only ask because there's a lot of people. There's some lenders that do charge they charge to run the credit, stuff like that. So we always like to ask because, we want people to be prepared and know who they're working with.
Yo tengo una pregunta, Brayam. Okay, so mucha gente escucha, mucha gente, y hay compradores que están listos para comprar, pero siempre dicen, ¿sabes qué? Estoy arreglando el crédito. Espérame que estoy arreglando el crédito. ¿Qué mensaje qué les puedes decir a esas personas que sabes que si estoy interesado en comprar, quiero comprar, pero mi crédito está malo, solo estoy arreglando yo?
El mejor consejo le podemos dar que es mejor aplicar porque nosotros sí sabemos exactamente qué es lo que vas a tener que pagar o si hay cosas que no debes que pagar para subir tus puntuajes de crédito. O en realidad que se motiven a tomar ¿cómo se dice? El primer paso para poder aplicar y nosotros guiarnos. Tenemos un equipo de crédito que nomás se especializa en ese departamento y es lo que se encargan para subirte el puntuaje 30, 40 puntos para llegar a la meta que tienes.
¿Cuál es el crédito mínimo que tú puedes aceptar para hacer un préstamo?
Mínimo 580. Hay préstamos que a veces te dejan ir hasta más bajo de 580 con un enganche un poco más alto, pero mínimo 580 con un 3.5 de enganche.
Y solo pregunto porque a veces hay gente que dice, oh, estoy trabajando en mi crédito y realmente su crédito está como a 650, pero piensan que tienen que tenerlo a 800.
Correcto.
Entonces, mucha gente, con un 580, sí, eso es lo que los está holding you back, entonces sí pueden calificar.
Exacto. Y a veces, o sea, si quieres agarrar una asistencia, no importa si tienes un 740 o un 640. La asistencia es igual para todos que van a aplicar para el programa. Solo el interés no va a variar. Te va a tocar el mismo interés, o sea, a mí, a ti, dependiendo si vamos a agarrar asistencia o no.
Hold on, si mi crédito es 600, 630, 640, ¿verdad? Apenas lo requerido para una asistencia. Si alguien tiene un 760, va a ser el mismo
interés, porque la asistencia se guía en cuánto te van a dar de asistencia. Si vas a agarrar, diremos, la asistencia del 5% para ayudarte con down payment y los gastos de cierre, es el mismo interés que nos va a tocar a mí y a ti. Si yo tengo un 740 y usted un 640, es igual. No hay diferencia.
Yeah. Yo, I would have the 640.
He's like 640, 740.
640.
Yeah, no, con todo. Pero sí, era lo que quería llegar, ¿no? La pregunta la hice basada de que mucha gente está escuchando, mucha gente quiere comprar, mucha gente tiene miedo a comprar. Pero dice, ¿sabes qué onda? Yo lo quiero hacer, lo voy a arreglar porque me da vergüenza que miren mi crédito. Sí. Pero pues son profesionales, eso es su trabajo, a eso se dedican los de reparación de crédito. Y pues al mismo tiempo, hay veces que pagas cuentas que tal vez ni necesitabas pagar.
El crédito.
Porque mucha gente, hablen con el prestamista, hablen con Brayam para que les pueda ayudar igual a subir su puntuaje y a ayudarles a calificar para una casa, y Gaby es la que les va a enseñar y ayudar con lo que sigue. Guys, thank you guys so much for coming to our show. We kind of have to wrap it up, but we had a lot of fun talking to you guys.
Thank you for having us.
It was
super quick.
truly a pleasure. I really didn't realize how much experience you guys have. You guys look so young. Honestly, I'd follow you guys or I'd see you guys and I was like, they look like kids.
Oh yeah. Like Gabby said, she's been in diapers her whole industry in this industry, right?
We missed that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people take that for granted. So she grew up with her mom, watching her mom do this and talk. So this is like second nature. So when it comes to real estate, this is just like
it's normal. Yeah, I'm not scared of it. Like, we bought our home in February, Pico Market.
Yeah.
To us, we're just like, we'll rent it for a few years.
The thing is, you look at the trends, right? You always have to tell someone, how long do you plan to be in this house that you're purchasing? If it's at least 5 years, you're going to see an up, you're going to see a down. Yeah. It's just the nature of the market. But can you guys, before we log off there, can you guys tell us how to reach you one more time?
For myself again, direct number 602-545-9082. Instagram, Arguelles_home loans.
And me, 602-810-8484, 602-810-8484. Instagram, Gabyrpalma, and Facebook, Gabriella Palma.
Thank you guys, and that was our show for today.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Hello.